What if a world wasn't built from stone and soil, but from the actual words that describe them? Well, today, we're diving headfirst into Arreqqana, a place where language isn't just a tool for communication, it's the literal blueprint for reality itself.
So, let's start right there with a simple question. Think about the name of your own street, or your city. What does it really tell you? Probably not much, right? But in Arreqqana, every single name is a story. It's a tiny, condensed piece of history and identity. It's an idea that, honestly, will change how you look at a map forever.
Okay, so let's start with the widest view possible, the whole idea of home. In Arreqqana, a home isn't just four walls and a roof. No, it's a living, breathing piece of a family's legacy, their traditions, and their deep, deep connection to the land. So check this out. These aren't just different models of houses, you know? They are completely different philosophies of living. A Zaqhalenna isn't just a house with a nice fireplace. It's a legacy flame dwelling, built around the hearth as the absolute core of the family. And a Zaqhalenna, that's a house of melody wind, designed for music, with open courtyards. The name literally reveals the soul of the home before you even walk through the door.
And this is where it gets really cool, where the personal and the public just weave together perfectly. It's not just any legacy home, it becomes the Marojin family legacy flame estate. By adding their name, a family is anchoring their own story into the wider cultural landscape, making that connection totally real and tangible.
All right, so from that huge idea of home, let's zoom in. We're going to focus on a specific region where this linguistic world building gets even more vivid. Welcome to the coastal country.
The whole coastal region has a name, Qolumariin, which means the thread of the tidal lands. Now that first part, Qolu, thread or flow line, that is absolutely crucial. It's telling us that everything here, the water, the people, their rituals, it's all part of one single, sacred, interwoven tapestry.
But, this thread isn't all the same. The coast has two totally distinct personalities, and they're captured perfectly by their names. On one hand, you've got Zan'Qarima, the shining rise of salt and shell. You just hear that and it feels elevated, bright, maybe a little bit wealthy, right? And then on the other hand, there's Naa'Veloshka, the embrace of wet roots. That just sounds so lush, grounded, and deeply connected to the earth and the water.
So let's see how this actually plays out in the Upper Coast. I mean, the neighborhood names sound like actual poetry. The wind-blessed slopes, path of the morning shell. You can just picture these elegant homes, the artists living there. Kari's thread even suggests a kind of elite governance, with these incredible estates just woven along the clifftop roads.
Now let's contrast that with the lower coast. The names here have a totally different vibe. They feel, more mystical, more practical. Braided River Route Crossing is where you'd find the Fisher clans. Whisper Hollow of the Tidal Spirits, that's a place for ritual mourners and wave listeners. It's a life that isn't just near the water, it's deeply in it. Okay, so we've gone from the big picture of the nation down to the region. Now we're going to zoom in even deeper to a single neighborhood in that refined Upper Coast, just to see how this whole system works right there on the ground. Welcome to Zalia Mara. That's Zalia Mara. So let's just break that down for a second. Zalia means elevated or refined waters. Mara is a settlement or a resting place. Put them together and you get the haven of the refined waters. The name itself is a promise, a guarantee of elegance and a dignified life by the coast.
And you better believe they lean into it. This is basically the neighborhood's marketing slogan. See, it's not just a name, it's an identity, it's a brand. It tells you exactly the kind of life you're supposed to live there, a place where even the tide itself is gentle.
So we've landed the neighborhood, we've got our bearings, now it's time to listen in. Let's hear the intimate, everyday language that's spoken by the people who actually call this place home.
This local lingo, they call it Qarralinta le Qhozéssa, or close thread speech. And there's that word again, thread. It just keeps coming back, reinforcing this idea of a super tightly woven community where language itself is the shared, intimate fabric holding everyone together.
And you can really hear that warmth in how they talk every day. Instead of a simple, how are you? They'll ask, kyanar, which is way closer to asking, what's your energy? Or is your spirit good? It's a casual but really deeply relational check-in. And a simple yo becomes this much more fun, exuberant zanakas.
The street slang gets even more specific and expressive. You don't just say, a house looks nice, you say, na casa no cuaja, meaning this house got flow. It's all about the vibe, the whole aesthetic. If someone's dressed up really glam, they're qarrazazzed. And your closest friend, your neighbor you can count on, that's your zafi.
This is language that builds loyalty and a shared sense of who you are.
And this incredible linguistic depth, it carries all the way up to the elders. Their advice is literally poetry. Nadale nakuri, walk like your spirit sees you. Just think about that. It's a reminder to always act with integrity. Keep your door flame lit is a beautiful encouragement to stay open and welcoming. These phrases just embed core cultural values right into everyday conversation.
All right, for our final stop, we're going to the most fundamental level of culture there is, the sound of children playing in a courtyard. This is where those first linguistic threads are woven.
Just listen to this chant they use for hide and seek. The seeker calls out, "Qe qe sen ari," which means, energy, where's your energy? They're not looking for a person, they're looking for their life force. And the hider's response, "Not tiari," means, I'm a whisper. It's amazing. Even in a simple game, these really profound spiritual concepts are just right there at play.
And here we go again, in a simple clapping game. The central instruction, takita takita tap. Catch the thread, don't let it snap. The core metaphor of their entire culture, that sacred connecting thread, is being taught and reinforced through rhythm and play from the absolute earliest age. It's brilliant. So there you have it. We've traveled from the macro to the micro, from the name of an entire region all the way down to a children's rhyme. And at every single level, we find the exact same principle at work. Language as a deliberate, conscious act of creation, weaving a shared reality, a shared identity, and a shared home.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought to take away. If the place where you live, your street, your building, your town, if it could speak its true soul through its names in its slang, what story would it tell? What would you actually hear?